Hi everyone, it's me Giovanni, and today I'm going to do a part 5 of the Richard Hayes and Ryu Hayabusa story. Here we go. Okay, just in case, if some of you are going to be uncomfortable of what I'm about to say, of what you can see in the story, then don't worry. I understand. I mean, I hate this stuff too, but that's what I'm going to say here. Just get the thing. Ryu, you're scaring me. Where did the friendly Ryu go? Ryu Hayabusa carries Kasumi to a guest bedroom, lays her on the bed, and makes her drift off to sleep. He goes back to the living room and undresses Kokoro and Hitomi. He starts taking pictures of them with his phone. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, considering the story takes place in 1998, it should have been... cell phones with, like, selfies or, like, taking pictures or certain apps did not exist. So he would have just used an actual camera, but, oh well, I didn't think about that. My apologies. Ryu decides to have fun with them while they're still unconscious. Ryu thinks to himself as he looks at Kokoro and Hitomi laying unconscious on the floor while looking very vulnerable and naked. If it had to be obvious. Ryu begins to feel excited. He smiles sinisterly and touches their bodies and decides to do them, just skip the whole explicit parts of, what you can see. I hate sex. I'm sorry, but I do hate it. Especially private body parts and the stuff. Why? It's fucking disgusting. Back to the story. Just then, Richard walks into the room and sees what Ryu has done. Ah, Richard, you're back, huh? Richard looks at Ryu in shock from what Ryu was doing. But then he angrily slaps Ryu. Richard yells and screams in rage at Ryu. What the hell did you do? I was only paying them back for what they did to me. Ryu's tone of voice is slightly calm but with anger and annoyance. Richard slaps Ryu repeatedly hard while yelling, I hate you! Ouch! Okay. I get it. Calm down. Whack. Ryu falls to the ground unconscious instantly as Richard hits him on the head with a baseball bat. Ryu is lying on the floor unconscious now while Richard stands there and yells at him, You motherfucking idiotic psychopathic monster! I had to say it. I'm sorry, but I did. As Richard yells at Ryu, who's still lying on the ground unconscious, Kasumi enters the living room and sees what is happening. Richard? What happened? Richard begins to cry as he drops the baseball bat and collapses onto the floor. I'm sorry. Ryu knocked out Kokoro, Hitomi, and Helena. He undressed Kokoro and Hitomi. Then he took pictures of them and had sex with them. It was terrible. And I'm so sorry. I really am sorry. He did what? Ryu just wanted to teach the girls a lesson. Ever since the Spine Bathhouse naked incident. But I didn't know you would do this. It was disgusting. Richard sobs and sobs. Kokoro, Helena, and Hitomi wake up. What happened? Why are Kokoro and I naked? Why is Ryu on the floor? And why is Richard crying? Ryu, as Kasumi talks to Kokoro and Hitomi about what happened, Helena Douglas notices Richard crying and comforts him. Richard sobs like crazy as Helena tries to comfort him. I... So, Ryu undressed us, took pictures of our bodies, and had sex with us while we were unconscious. Yes, and right now Richard is obviously extremely upset. Hitomi and Kokoro quickly get dressed while Kasumi watches them, and both of them look at Ryu, who is still lying unconscious on the floor while Richard continues crying. Kasumi tells Kokoro and Hitomi to leave, and they do while Kasumi and Helena try to calm Richard down, and then Ryu wakes up. Huh? Oh, what happened? I felt as if someone hit me in the head hard. Where's Kokoro and Hitomi? And why is Richard crying? And Helena lies to Ryu, saying that him and Richard got into a fight, and when Kasumi saw what happened, Richard got upset, and then Kasumi asked Kokoro and Hitomi to leave while Kasumi tried to comfort Richard, and Ryu believes her. Oh, I see. Ryu looks at Richard and felt bad for his friend crying from what happened. Shh. Hey, don't be sad, my friend. You're okay. There's nothing to be sad about. Just relax. Really? Yes, really. So just relax, my friend. Everything is okay now. Richard hugs Ryu while shedding a few tears. I just love that you're my friend. That's all. I'm sorry for getting upset like that, Kasumi. It's okay, Richard. Besides, Helena and I were gonna leave anyways. Bye, Ryu. Bye, Helena. Bye, Kasumi. It was nice seeing you both. Take care. After Kasumi and Helena leave, later that night, Ryu's in the living room when suddenly he sees Richard leaving his room and going to the kitchen holding a paper bag. Hey, Richard? What are you doing? What's in the bag? Richard hides the bag behind him. It's nothing. Oh, come on. You got me. You've got me curious. What is inside that bag? Richard tries to walk away from Ryu. It's just some things that I need to throw away. Ryu grabs Richard's arm, wanting to know what's in the bag. No. Ryu struggles with Richard as he begins screaming. Get off of me. Richard lets go of the bag, and a bloody pocket knife slips out of it. Ryu looks over at the bloody knife and picks it up, then remembers what happened to his friend Rachel. He then looks at Richard with anger in his eyes, but his voice slightly cold and upsetting. You killed Rachel. Lie to me. Answer me, Richard. Answer me. I killed her. I had to kill her. What else could I do? Richard, you do realize that you murdered her. But it was her fault. If she would have left me alone, I wouldn't have killed her. Richard begins to cry. Tell me the truth. Richard. Now I know there's no such lying. Richard, I want you to tell me the truth. She approached me, but I just wanted to be left alone, that's all. I slapped her in the face. She hid on the rocks, and I found her there. And I told her that I'll kill her if she wouldn't leave me alone. Richard begins crying again. Please, don't let anyone hurt me, Ryu, please. Richard hugs Ryu while still crying. Hey, calm down, Richard. No one is gonna hurt you. I know you're scared, but it's alright. I promise I won't let anyone hurt you. Thank you. What were you gonna do with the knife anyways? I was gonna take it to the incinerator. I see. But why would you kill Rachel, especially if it wasn't for her not letting you be? I hate blondes. I really hate them. You hate blondes, you. Ryu, what's the matter? Get rid of the knife, Richard. Get rid of it! Richard goes to the incinerator and throws the bloody knife away. Richard walks over to Ryu, staring at him in silence as a tear runs down his face. Richard hugs Ryu again. You're a good friend, Ryu. I should probably get some rest now. That sounds like a good idea. Ryu and Richard go to bed, but in the middle of the night, Ryu wakes up to hear music playing in the ballroom, and Richard isn't in bed. Then he goes to the ballroom to see Richard ballet dancing. Richard? Oh, I'm sorry, Ryu. I was just doing some ballet dancing. It calms me down from all the stress, pain, and anxiety inside my head. Ballet dancing? Yes. Is that a problem? No, it's okay. Your moves are quite elegant and beautiful. But how did you learn to do all this? When I was around 7 years old? Why didn't you tell me this before? Because I thought you might find it weird that I do ballet, because mostly it feels like a feminine sport or something. I see. But don't worry about it, Richard. There's nothing wrong with ballet. I find it cool you're able to do this. You must have taken lessons. Yes, I actually practiced a lot when I was young. I will say you are very good at it, at least. I mean that. Thank you, Ryu. And I'm sorry about waking you up like this. It's fine. Maybe we should go back to bed now. I guess so. Good night, my dear friend. Good night, Ryu. The next day, in the afternoon, Ryu notices Richard on the archery range. Huh? Ryu? Richard? What are you doing? Just a little something. Richard inflated two red balloons with helium and tied them to a pole. Some kind of archery practice? Exactly. Richard aims at one of the balloons and shoots the arrow to its direction. When the arrow hits the balloon, it pops, causing red liquid to come out of it. Deep, red, dripping liquid. Okay. You're also quite good at archery, but what the hell is that liquid? Oh, it's nothing. Richard smugly smiles at Ryu as he shoots a second arrow at the other balloon. It also pops to have the red liquid come out and drip on the pole. Later, when Richard was in the kitchen making lunch and Ryu was sitting on the couch reading, Ryu's best friend, Hayate, shows up at Richard's house with blood splattered on his face. Okay, that's all for this part. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye.